Hello, everyone. I'm here with Kim Hall, and Kim is a wonderful woman, and she recently completed my course, Your Best Yet. So, Kim, thank you so much for making time to chat with me today. I'm curious to know, what were you struggling with before you came into the program, Your Best Yet?
I think my biggest struggle is after going through divorce and just having this feeling of what's next for me in life, journey, job. I just felt overwhelmed by the number of choices, possibilities, and struggling with my purpose. And so I was
Mm,
looking just really for um, direction, clarity, support to help move forward, and feel confident in the decisions to move forward.
mm, that's quite a bit. Yeah. Um, um, well, I almost want to ask you a little bit more about that, if it's all right. Like, what would you say, like, was finding with the other people that I was chatting with, that, like, I can think about those things and just be like, I wonder about those things and go through my day-to-day life almost like it's a normal question to be having. And yet I personally would find that those things would create a lot of anxiety for me. Like, it's just like I was not doing well, so to speak. Like, that thing would often just have a life of its own in the background. So I'm just curious if you could say any more of being like, yeah, like I had these things going on, or like, and this is what like my day-to-day life was like, so to speak, with those things there.
Yeah, I think, after going kind of through the motions of divorce, I never really thought about it. And then when everything was finalized, it was, I don't know, it kind of felt like, Groundhog Day of every day just being the same. And I would think about, okay, what's next? Where do I want to go? Am I
Mhm.
happy in my job? What do I even want to do for a job? Where do I want to live? And then, of course, you have um, outside forces saying, "Oh, you could do this. You should go here. You're single. You don't have kids. No commitments. You should go to Costa Rica. Do this." And so then I became kind of overwhelmed with the number of decisions and the choices, which
Mm.
created a lot of anxiety for me. Um, and the more choices that I have, then it would create kind of this sense of fear of, no, I can't do that. You shouldn't do that. Don't move there. This negative talk, which then would fuel more anxiety. And I mean, change is, I think, difficult for anybody, but
Mm.
um, I'm not comfortable with change. And so then it's just very easy to keep going in the routine and keep things comfortable, but then not pushing myself, I guess, in a good way to challenge to do more.
Right, right. That's definitely like that Groundhog Day syndrome you were talking about.
That's
And
how I, yeah, you say that, and it's just like, it's like, okay, here we go. We're going to, work, go home, eat, yoga, go to bed, and repeat.
yeah, right. And then still have this almost existential crisis of like, what am I doing?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. So, what results did you start to experience as you were participating in Your Best Yet?
um, I think, there's a couple things that really stand out for me is the negative self-talk, kind to um, trust myself or learn how I phrase things about, instead of saying, I don't trust my decision, or I don't um, trust my thought process. More so, I'm learning to trust,
Mm,
and just thinking about, I don't know how to phrase it, but processing and challenging my thoughts, like challenging the negative self-talk. And so when I think about
mm,
something that maybe, oh, you shouldn't do that, you can't do that, you don't have enough money, going beyond that and thinking about what the possibility was of, take money out. If I want to move to the mountains, forget the job, forget how I would get there, forget the cost associated with it. Just think about being there and what the life would be like if I was to do something like that. Um, and I think boundaries, creating boundaries, was something that's really good for me. I don't think I've ever really focused on that. I'm a people pleaser, and so I have a hard time saying no or doing things that maybe I'm not comfortable doing or that I don't want to do, but I do them just because I want to keep the peace, or um, if there's tense situations or kind of walking on eggshells, I'll just agree to things just to kind of keep the peace, instead of standing up and feeling like comfortable with my decision and what I want and what's going to be best for me, and
Mm,
not feeling guilty about it,
mm,
um, is something that really stands out. And then expanding beyond the potential, creating the vision, was really challenging for me because, again, going back to, I feel like I stick within my comfort zone of what I can do and what is physically possible of
mm,
doing, instead of taking out some of the limitations of maybe what would prevent me from achieving that next milestone or that next goal, um, and push me outside of my comfort zone and just think about the possibilities and kind of not worry so much about each individual step of how I'm going to get there. I'm a
mm.
planner. I like to think about every step of how I'm going to do that, how I'm going to get there, how much is it going to cost, or
Mm,
whatever it may be. And sometimes it's, you know, nice, just to take that out and just think about the potential and possibilities.
mm. Wow. I love what you're saying of like you're really good at the analytic stuff and like the structure of like, well, how much money am I going to need? How much time is it going to take? Those are really important things. And I love that for you, there's like the marriage of like, well, like the creativity, the possibility part, having my crayons out and being able to, color for a few
Mhm.
minutes to be able to just see what else I can add for that. I love hearing that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
wonderful. Oh, well, what was it like working with me? You spent a whole, what, like 9 weeks and then some with me. What was it like working with me?
I have nothing but positive things to say. Um, and I go back to, because I've known you, through yoga prior to taking this course, and there was one day, I think it was a smaller class, and going through shavasana, and you were talking, and I don't remember exactly what you're talking about, but I just remember having this kind of, all of a sudden, you're relaxed, but then you kind of wake up and it's like, oh my gosh, is he talking to me? Because what he's saying sounds like he's saying it to me, but there's other people in the room. And so I
Mm,
asked you, what you did. You have to, yoga is great, but you obviously do something more.
mm,
Um, and that's how we, began to start this next journey. And you're very patient with me and going through, because I'm very analytical, and it's like, okay, can I fit this in? Will it work? What am I going to get? What's the end result going to look like?
mm,
Um, but going through the motions, it was 100% worth it. I think the group was so comfortable, and I said this to one of the, um, other members that was in the group, and you share things that maybe you don't share with, family or people that are close to you, but there's this a sense of comfort and ease and support and no judgment, I think, which is really important. And that was
mm,
right from, day one, even prior to enrolling into the course, is just, there was always that level of comfort speaking with you. And
mm.
yeah, I think it's been great. I mean, I could go on for for a long time about it, but yeah, 100% worth it. I'm seeing, um, change. Now, for me, what's important is just making sure that I, continue, and which is why I'm taking part two.
Right, yeah. Uh, well, thank you so much. That's very sweet, and I'm like, I wonder what I said that day in Shavasana at yoga.
To be honest, I think it was something. I remember it was something about online dating. I don't know what it was. Something about
Wow.
online dating, or your potential and online dating. And I was like, what? I haven't even told them that, I'm going through, or I went through a divorce, and that I'm single and I'm online dating. And it does really suck. Say no.
I may have just been referencing the challenges of something. I don't think
It
online
was,
dating
yeah, the
sucks.
challenges
Just
about.
context for anyone watching the recording of this. Oh,
So I don't know, but
interesting.
it just felt very like personal and, relatable to me. And I think that was the, important thing, because I think sometimes, especially for me, I feel that, when you're going through things, that maybe you're the only one going through things, but yet there are other people around you, and we don't necessarily maybe talk about those things, put a front on, things are good. And so it's refreshing to be able to share, and then have support, and also um, bring things into your life, specifically from this course, bringing things into my life, the boundary circle. What do I want to bring in?
Mm,
What do I want to, work towards as far as vision and goals and things like that moving forward?
mhm.
Um, I do it in my job, but I, never really thought about doing it, personally.
Right, right. I don't know how exactly you learn it in your job. The context wasn't always the same to be thinking about it for me in my personal life when I was also doing it in corporate related environments. So it was very, very different.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. This has been lovely chatting with you, and just thank you for everything you've shared. And I know that people don't get to see a before and after of you, and yet I still just you just are so vibrant. Just there's like color back in your skin, and I'm just so excited to see how you've just blossomed within yourself, so to speak, and really are so committed to living life the way that you want to make it. It's like it. I love spending time with you. It's just been so fun to get to know you and just see you become brighter. And I'm excited to continue to see that.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's been an amazing journey. I look forward to part two. Um, as the weeks go on, that the class was coming closer to an end, it's like, okay, it's like, you want this to end? I need to keep this going. So,
Right.
2023 is all about, investing in myself. And I know that's kind of what we talked about last year. And so, yeah, 100% worth it. And I look forward to kind of continuing to work together, and the next journey, and just continue to work and improve on myself.
Right. Well, thanks so much, Kim.
Thank you.